Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is such a beautiful day and I am on a staycation this week, so I decided to work in the garden today and share with you what I was planning to do. I am actually redesigning, I would say, a little bit of this area. For those of you who've been following my channel, you know that I've created this beautiful vegetable garden area this spring. As you can see, it's thriving, it's lush, and it's gorgeous. And I wanted to take you along and show you what I was planning to do today with this week's project, since I'm home and I wanted to spend a little bit time in the garden and just, enjoy this last week of summer, technically before school starts here in Toronto. And I wanted to enjoy this last week just spending time in the garden and really filling my cup. So what I'm planning to do is, as you can see, this is the path that has a bit of grass. It looks very messy. Every time I am in here, there's lots of clover, which I don't mind actually, but it's just a very messy area, and it kind of makes my gardens look a little bit messier too. So and my goal ultimately for my backyard is to kind of be lawn free. So I am slowly getting there. I have added a ton of beds over the last few years, and I am slowly starting to transition into that. So on that note, I actually just want to leave for now grass right in the middle of my lawn here as an area that's grassy, and that's about it. But the rest of it, I kind of want to slowly convert into areas where I have lots of plants and things that I enjoy doing the gardening with. So I am going to actually extend this path to come all the way to the other side this week, and I am actually going to take it all the way here. As you can see, there is a lot of bald patches here. Grass really doesn't thrive here. So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to create like a path coming from my patio here, a wider path here, and then just extend this bed a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit, curved here, and then bring this out a little bit, so to give me a little bit more planting room. As I find things on clearance and I start adding in these beds, I think it'll be gorgeous. So I kind of want to create a path right up till here where this spot ends, and then I will leave all of that beyond this point. So I think I will most likely come up till here where there is a slight slope down, and then I will stop there and then have the rest of the garden be grass in there. So that's the plan. That's what I'm starting to do. And of course, with all of these additions, I do have some beautiful plants that I got on clearance. Fall is the best time to plant things and find really good deals with plants. So I've been collecting plants here and there as I see them, and I'm excited to add them into this new spot. I have a bunch of hydrangeas, which I am thinking of adding in this spot here, and maybe a couple in here as well, because I think they will really like these spots, because there is this pot sun, dappled sun coming in this spot, and it might be the happy medium for them to not get super hot and not get super shady. So that's the plan. I am going to proceed with this project. So as you've followed me in my garden, I love using what I have. So I have some stones that I'm going to be using. I lost connection or battery on my phone, and I had to charge my phone and come back and show you what I was talking about. What I'm saying is that what I will be using is some of these edging bricks I already have in these beds. I also have some of these stones, so it's not going to be by any means this perfectly landscaped edged pathway. It's going to be a rustic looking pathway, which I will probably put some cardboard down here and put my mulch down, and then the rest of these beds pretty much will be digging them and planting what I need, and then mulching the rest. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this project here. It's a very easy, I would think, project. And I think it will make this whole area look a lot better. So I kind of wanted to show you what this looks like before, so you have an idea of what I'm working on and what it's going to look like when I'm done working on it. And I will show you the plants that I'm adding. I might move a few things that I already have in these borders just to give them a little bit more, maybe they need more light, or they look different with the placement of new plants. So that's also going to be part of this project as well. So let me get started. I'm going to work on the path, and I will share with you progress as I go along. But before I go there, I just wanted to show you the veg garden is doing amazing this year. I've been like so blessed with a lot of vegetables. It's very abundant and it's really, really beautiful as well. And I also ended up painting my garage door a nice bright yellow, which I absolutely love. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really looking beautiful. And I think this path here extending this path here will really make me feel like I am going into this garden in the back there, and it's going to look gorgeous. So let me get on with that, and I will show you my progress. And as I move on, and I really want to focus on creating the shape. Once I have the shape figured out, I'll show you what that looks like. Done working on the shape of this path and deciding what plants I want to add to the newly extended beds. More or less, I'm keeping the plants that are in the beds. I'm just adding some new ones that I've been collecting over time that were in my plant stash. And I just want to show you the plants that I am going to be adding. So I'm going to plant the plants first, and then I will mulch this whole path here. So all of this is going to get mulched. And I think I will stop somewhere here. And then this is where the mulch will end. And I actually cleared a lot of the grass around the edges, and I, neatened all of this so that once I mulch it, it's going to look really, really neat. So let me start on this side and show you some of the plants that I will be adding in these beds. So the very first plant that I'm going to be adding is this beautiful Shasta daisy. So this is a snow-capped Shasta daisy, and it is one that stays pretty short. So I have a couple of these plants, and these will bloom from June to August if you keep it dead-headed, and it's going to be it has single white daisy flowers, and it's hardy up to zones 4, and it's going to really be this 30 to 35 centimeters tall and wide. So it's fairly short variety. It's one of the older varieties of Shasta daisy, and it's got a long blooming single white daisy flower, and it attracts butterflies. So it still has some blooms on it, which look really, really pretty. I love daisy blooms. They are just so gorgeous in the garden. So this is a variety that I will be adding. I have 2 of these plants. And then I also have a beautiful Cardona meadow sage. So this is another plant I will be adding. This is, again, loves full sun, blooms from June to July in purple, and attracts all kinds of pollinators, bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, hardy up to zone 3. And it's going to be one of the taller salvia. So it's going to be taller than the daisy, and it's going to get up to 60 to 75 centimeters tall and about 45 centimeters in width. So I do also have a catmint currently there, and it's doing well. So I'm going to be adding this sage for earlier color in here, and then once this is done, the catmint is going to take over. And then I have a couple of Macrophylla hydrangeas. These are the lace cap variety of hydrangea. These are the Endless Summer, Twist and Shout. So again, these are, let's see, hardy up to zones 4 to 9, and it blooms on both old and new wood. And it's best not to prune these because it does bloom on old wood, and it's going to be happy in full sun to part shade. It's going to get a lot of part shade here, so I think it's going to be happy. Again, it will bloom pink in acidic in alkaline soil and more blue to purple in more acidic soil. So it really depends on your soil type, how it's going to bloom. Like it currently has a couple of blooms on it, so we'll see if it blooms. But I'm really excited to get a couple of these plants, and I think these will look really nice in the front over here and add this, you know, thick leaf structure. And hopefully I can get these plants in the spots that I have arranged them, because there is also root competition, so I will have to adjust as I'm digging if I need to move something. But the other shrub that I'm adding is this beautiful spilled wine weigela. So this one is called spilled wine, and it's one of the smaller weigelas, which stays about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. It is also going to, let's see what the tag says. So this is again like sun, and it's going to get let's see, about 0.6 to 0.9 meters tall, so really smaller size. And it's going to be covered in these beautiful pink blooms in the spring. So it's going to bloom late spring, and I'm excited to add this one in my bed here. And I'm not too worried about the sun condition here, because I am about to lose one of the trees that I have here. This ash tree is going to go because it is dying. A lot of its branches are already dead, so it may get cut back this winter. And if that happens, this whole area is going to become a full sun garden. So I'm not so worried about the sun it's going to get. There is a bit of a canopy from the maple trees above, but those are pretty high up, and it does get a lot of sun here. So the other thing I will be adding is I'm going to add some Evergreen Euonymus. So this is the emerald and gold Euonymus. I'm adding 3 of these here. I know these get fairly big in size as they grow, so these will hopefully be 30. It's basically going to create a mound here, and I can keep it trimmed to whatever size I want. So these are more like a ground cover Euonymus, and I just want to add a bit of hedging here with these so that I can keep it trimmed. I love the delicate leaves on it. It's a tiny leaved Euonymus, and it's really pretty actually. It's got a nice delicate leaf, and I really like this one. And I'm going to add this one in the front here just to give it some color here, and I think it'll look really nice. So that's what I'm going to add there. And then I have 2 amsonia. So these are the proven winners, amsonia. So this is the blue star, I believe. I don't have tags on them, but these will bloom a beautiful periwinkle blue in early spring. And when they emerge, they have this beautiful dark foliage, and then it stays this green foliage for the rest of the summer, and then they have a nice yellow color in the fall. So I have 2 of these, and I will be adding them, one over here and one on that side there. And then I have this beautiful Astilbe Chinensis. I think it's a white one. It has no tag, but I think it will have white blooms, so I think it will look good in this spot here. I'm going to try it in this spot. Astilbes have been a tricky plant in my garden to grow because of the soil conditions and the dryness and the root competition, but you know, for $3 I will give it a shot. And then I have a beautiful Coreopsis. This is Zagreb Coreopsis, and I'm going to be adding this here. Coreopsis is lovely. It has a really long bloom time in the summer, and it will bloom from June to September. It has bright golden yellow flowers on a thread-like foliage, and it's beautiful, hardy up to zone 4, and the leaves are these beautiful colors. And again, this was a clearance plant as well, and it was pretty dead, and I've been babying it a little bit, and it's looking healthier now, so I'm excited to add this one. And then I have 2 more salvias. So this is the Color Spires Azure Snow Salvia. So this one, I have 2 of them that I will be adding. These have these beautiful blue and white flowers, colorful perennial, produces deep violet, blue and white bicolor flowers, and it's going to be gorgeous. So I'm adding this one, hardy in zones 3 to 8, and I will be adding 2 of these, one on each side of this path. And then last but not the least, I have 3 beautiful hydrangeas here. So these are the Endless Summer Pop Star Hydrangeas. Again, they are lace cap. They do have some blooms on them. Again, hardy to zone 4, and these are more compact. They grow about 3 feet, I think 18 to 36 feet tall and wide. Again, bloom on both old and new wood, and they have a nice fall color, the leaves. So excited to add them. They are in a bit of a rough shape, but I got them for $10, so I'm excited. And I want to add these. I have 3 of these, and I will be adding them in this front here to create a drift. I will still have some gaps here, which I might add some other plants later on, but for now I want to get these plants in the ground, and I'll show you what this looks like. Plant positioning may change depending on roots that I find, especially in this area here, so I don't know how this is going to end up looking, but I'm hoping to get these plants in where I have placed them, and I'll show you once I have put these plants in the ground. So I'm done with this area here, and I'm really happy with the results. It's turned out really nice, and I have extended this path all the way to the front, and I kind of mimicked the same style I had on the side here. I ended up picking up some flagstones to go with the mulch, and it just makes it easier to walk on it, and less messy to walk on the mulch. So mulch paths, you know, is something new that I'm trying this season. I want to see how they work out. Initially I thought I would do gravel, but I do not want to have so much gravel in the backyard, and in case I don't like it, it will be a pain to get rid of it. But the mulch should break down, and eventually I could try something else in this spot as well. I do want to see if I can grow some ground cover in between these flagstones. If I can, then I will. But for the next couple of years, I just want to leave them as mulched pathways and see how this is going to work out for me. And I like that it's not a permanent kind of solution. It is something that I'm trying out. And I'm also used to walking this way. I've kind of walked this way, figured out all my routes around the garden, and this is kind of a pathway anyways. So, and that's the thing about gardening, is that as you are growing different things can evolve and change, and I like to keep it that way. And if I end up using this as a walkway permanently and I like it, I might just keep it, and I might do something permanent to create these walkways. Not really sure yet. I am just experimenting, and that's the thing. It's easy to experiment with things that you can change. I find mulch easy that way. I can get a free mulch load next time and top up these mulch pathways. I didn't want to commit to like a chip drop or something right now, because I don't have that much space to store that much mulch. So it's fine for now. I got a few bags of mulch. I didn't want to get black mulch, but I ended up getting it anyways because they were really out of the natural mulch that I really like. But that's okay, since it's just a walkway and not my plants. It should be okay because it's going to eventually fade and break down. For my garden beds though, I do not like using any kind of colored mulch because of all the, dye or anything unnatural that could be in the mulch. But I try not to use them in my beds. And as you can see, I really haven't mulched my beds because I do plant thickly in my beds. So just wanted to go over this area. I did end up planting all of those plants I showed you. Some of them stayed in the same spot, some of them have moved. I did end up planting the 2 azure snow salvia, I think that's what they're called, on either side of this pathway. I do have the Zagreb Coreopsis there. I did stick in some sedum cuttings that I had lying around in here, so hopefully these will fill in over the years. And then I did plant the amsonia plants here. As you can see, I usually do not create a drift. I create a wave with my plants. So I kind of go and repeat them along the way. I like too many plants to kind of create like 5 or 6 of them in one go, or create a drift of them. I love creating them in waves. So that's what I've done. The amsonia are here kind of going to pick up on each other. The coreopsis will fill in as well once these are almost done blooming, or they might also bloom simultaneously. And then I did plant my one euonymus here. So the euonymus, I kind of layered them throughout this path here. So I have 3 of them peppered in here. I do have my spilled wine weigela planted here. I did add a little lamb's ear in the back there. There was a big plant that I kind of made several pieces and divided it, and I've dotted them around in different spots. I'm going to move them around if it gets too much, but I just want them to get established first. Again, this is the other euonymus. These are the 2 twist and shout hydrangeas, which I think will look really nice in this spot. And then I also have my snow-capped Shasta daisies planted here. I do have my Cardona meadow sage planted there, and another euonymus here. And then I also have some poker plants. I have a couple of these yellow poker plants. I think these are by proven winners as well. Again, bought on clearance. Added those in. And then what I did was, on this side, I do have my drift of Star Hydrangeas. These kind of, look a little bit mangled because they were in rough shape when I bought them. They were heavily marked down. So I'm hoping that once they get some time in the ground, they will perk up and they will look good. Although they do look very good, very healthy. So I'm not too worried about them. And what I also did was I moved one Queen of Hearts Brunnera that wasn't doing so well in another spot into this spot. So hoping the silver foliage will kind of add a pop of color, especially because I have the burgundy 9 bark in the back there. So this will add a lovely color. And then I also have my Astilbe Chinensis. I don't know the color over here as well, and it's going to look really, really good here. And then in front of it, I did plant a snake root. I think this one is called Hillside Black Beauty. I found a couple of these plants in a clearance somewhere, and I just never have tried snake roots, so I thought I would plant it here and see how it does. It is supposed to get these really tall spikes of white and pink blooms late in the season, so late season interest, I think in late summer, early fall. Not sure if it's gonna bloom this fall, but I'm looking forward to how this does next year. So that's all the planting and the cleanup in this section. I really like how this has turned out. It really extends my vegetable garden area, and it gives me a view of the back garden from all the way here, and it kind of creates a bit of mystery for what's to come behind this path. So I really like how this is looking. I still have cleanup to do. Obviously fall, leaves are going to fall. It's going to be messy, but I'm going to have to see how everything fares with the mulch, with the beds, and we'll see how this does, and it's lessons learned for next season. So really pleased with how this is looking, and really tying into the veg garden area. I'm done with this project, and I wanted to share this with you. And I hope everyone is having a beautiful gardening day wherever you're joining me from, and I shall do a tour of the garden very soon in my upcoming videos. Thanks so much for subscribing to the channel and watching my videos and supporting my gardening channel, and I'm so excited you're here, and I will catch you very soon in another video.